gentlemen, to whom it concerns, it's The Late Late Show. And here is your host, Gay Byrne.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here on The Late Late Show tonight to pay a very special tribute to one of the most famous, the most internationally acclaimed, the most enduring musical organization to come out of Ireland. And they are celebrating their 25th anniversary. And joining us on the show tonight to wish them a happy 25th and to pay tribute with them, amongst those joining us in the studio are Jim McCann, the Furies, U2, Stockton's Wing and the Pogues. And I shouldn't be at all surprised if we might have a surprise guest or two dropping in as well. By way of introduction to them, I can do no better than to tell you what Phil Coulter said about them in 1984. This is what he wrote, and I can't improve on it. He says, "I've often tried to analyze the appeal of these guys. It wasn't merely that they were all individually talented. It wasn't just that each was a character in his own right. It wasn't even that they were the first. It was all of those things, but much more. When these guys walked on stage, something magical happened. They weren't a ballad group, they were a national institution. And 20 years before the music business discovered the phenomenon known as street credibility, these guys had already mastered it. So we ask you around the country and in the studio tonight to join with us in wishing a very happy 25th anniversary to the Dubliners."
As drunk could be, I saw a horse outside the door where my old horse should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that horse outside the door where my old horse should be?"
Aye, you silly old fool, till you cannot see. That's a lovely sow that me mother sent to me. Well, that's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more. When I saddle on a sow, sure I never saw before.
And as I went home on a Tuesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a coat behind the door where my old coat should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that coat behind the door where my old coat should be?"
Aye, you silly old fool, till you cannot see. That's a wall in black that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travel 100 miles or more,
but buttons in a black it sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Wednesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be?"
Aye, you silly old fool, till you cannot see.
That's a lovely tin whistle that
me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travel 100 miles or more, but that back in a tin whistle, sure I never saw before.
And as I went home on a Thursday night, as drunk could be, I saw two boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns them boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be?"
Aye, you silly old fool, till you cannot see.
They're two lovely geranium pots me mother sent to me.
Well, it's many a day I travel 100 miles or more,
but laces in geranium pots I never saw before. And as I went home on a Friday night, as drunk could be, I saw a head inside the bed where my old head should be. Well, I called my wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that head with you in the bed where my old head should be?"
Aye, you silly old fool, till you cannot see.
That's a baby boy that me mother sent to me.
Well, it's many a day I travel 100 miles or more,
but a baby boy with his whiskers on I never saw before. And as I went home on a Sunday night, as drunk could be, I saw me wife inside the bed, and this she said to me.
Barney McKenna, Ronnie Drew, John Sheehan, Sean Cannon, Eamon Campbell augmenting tonight. And we have Kieran in the audience as well. More of that later. There's a few things that puzzle me, Ronnie, first of all. Now, first of all, why do we all have to have beards? Is there some strange thing?
Well, no, but you see, Barney and I started playing first, and I had a beard, and then Barney had a beard, and then we started getting jobs, and they were looking for the fellas with the beards. And it became a kind of an economic necessity after that, because that's the only way we were recognised. And when we met John, then he had a beard. And Kieran, I think, was born with a beard. I don't think he ever shaved in his life. I at least had shaved up to some point in my life. But I used to get very annoyed with it because my grandfather used to only shave twice a week, and I said, there's enough for him, it's enough for me.
Yes.
And whenever I got a job, which was seldom, they used to always say, you have to shave every day. So every day. I said, my grandfather only shaves twice a week. He said, well, you'll have to shave every day. So I used to leave jobs over that, you know. It wasn't every day, that was out of the question. And I didn't fancy shave. Anyway, we all had them, and it became a trademark.
Trademark, very good. So that explains that. You see, these are little things that puzzle us. Now, Seven Drunken Nights, of course, was banned at first, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was.
And it's very funny about that because shows of O'Haney, we got it off shows of in Donoghue's pub. And Joe...
You got most of your songs in Donoghue's pub.
We did. We got a lot of them there, all right.
A lot of drink there as well.
Kieran and Dolly and the whole lot.
Yeah.
And Sean McGraham, of course. And Joe gave me that song, and the strange thing about it was we became a top 20 thing, and it was banned here in Ireland. But the strange thing about it was Shota O'Heaney had sung it in Irish on Radio Ireland, and nobody said a word about it.
Of course not. It's like Merry when you see. As long as it's in Irish, it doesn't matter around. But when was it taken off the banned list? I mean, I have vague memories of this.
Well, I don't think it was ever taken off the banned list. No,
it was only tonight, Gay.
all those years we've missed. But, well, you were a hairy crowd of pop stars on top of the pops.
We were a queer crew and had to be walking on top of the pops, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Did they treat you well on top of the pops at that time?
Yeah, well, we didn't quite know. I think they looked at us like something from... Didn't they? They used to look at us a bit...
From outer space.
They didn't know what to do, like, you know, because we didn't do any gyrations or anything. Except we might be... You know, we might be going a bit that way, but... Which maybe they thought was gyrating.
Nobody would ever accuse you of that, Ronnie. Most other things, but they'd never accuse you of that. Now, where's Jim McCann? Jim McCann, let us join. Jim McCann, come in here and take your seat here. I want to talk to you as well, because you're helping out with the music as well. Yeah. Sit down there now. You have spoken, Jim, about the dangers of this popularity, of this great popularity for people in show business.
Well, in my case, when I joined the lads, they were already an enormous, huge name around the world. None of us here actually realised it, even though I knew them for God knows how long. Nobody realised how big they were, sort of in Northern Europe, particularly. And I remember the first year I travelled with them, which was '74, I think. And everybody I met, like in Scandinavia or Germany or Belgium or Holland, I'd sort of say, getting on great, and sort of say, don't forget to look me up, by the way, if you're ever in Ireland, you know. And wrong. I remember the following summer, I was sitting at home and my wife said, Jim, there are two huge people with knapsacks coming up to the front door. And I said, oh, because I'd already had an inkling at this stage. And I said, oh, I'm not here. And I heard her open the door and say, hello. We are here to stay with Jim McCann for the summer. And Phyllis gone, well, unfortunately, he's gone to Australia or Mars or America or whatever it is. Said, that's no problem. He said, his house is my house.
Out.
No, I'm not here.
Oh dear, oh dear. That'll teach you
It's
the
easy done, you know.
They take
I'll
you
just
at
hit
your
this for a
word.
moment.
They take you at your word. Now, I have a huge list of songs that we have to get through tonight, my friends, because we went around fans asking, you know, what songs we do like. And the problem is that you fellas have a few fans, you see, and they all have their own ideas of what the most popular songs are. So I will be ruthless in sticking to time and trying to get as many as possible in. Jim McCann, we call upon you to join the Dubliners for I Love the Ground. Are we going to have that? We will. Very good. Here we go. I Love the Ground.
I love the ground she walked upon, and the air she would softly breathe, the feather touch of her gentle lips that only a fool would leave, that only a fool would leave. But we tasted forbidden wine, though I loved the ground she walked upon. I could never have made her mine. The swallows fly all along the canal, and I watch with a heavy heart. In dizzy spins they dive and twirl, touch wings and then depart. Touch wings and then depart as the summer fades away. Though I love the ground she walked upon, I knew that I could not stay. The swallow is a summer's child, she flies before the cold. Though I love the ground she walked upon, she was not mine to hold. She was not mine to hold, but it was easy to pretend. Though I love the ground she walked upon, a summer has to end. A summer has to end.
That's nice. Nice. Very nice. Nice one, Jim. Well done. Nice one, Jim. Was Eamon Campbell doing special things for you there in the background?
Very special, yes.
He's not a bad plonker at all.
No, and he's, by the way, he's had a haircut. Did you know?
I don't notice, sure, he's ruined himself. He's ruined himself getting the hair.
No, I reckon.
I told him.
He came in today and we were all sort of saying, must have had an estimate. He's got the bales home with him.
Now, I'm glad to tell you, before I go any further, we have a sheaf of telegrams from people wishing you well, who, we have a whole host of telegrams from people that I don't know, but I thought our viewers would be interested to know some of the people you do know. First of all, congratulations on your 25th anniversary. Many more happy and successful years from Paul Brady. Oh, yeah. That's that one. Congratulations on your 25th, and here's to the next 25 from Fred O'Donovan and all at the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. Best wishes on your 25th anniversary, signed Brendan Grace, P.S. Keep her going, Patsy. That's it. And lots of luck and best wishes. Sorry I can't be there with you, Paddy Riley. That's from our old friend. There you are. There's also one What's one here? It sounds ominous to me. Congratulations and best wishes to you all from the staff of the Bank of Ireland in Ashbourne. I don't know what that means, but there you are. Maybe they're trying to tell you something.
John Sheehan.
Oh, I see. Oh, from the outlying areas. There is also...
He's about the only one who would get telegrams.
There's also one here which says, congratulations to the Dubliners who've given immeasurable pleasure to lovers of Irish songs and music at home and abroad for 25 years. You have helped to promote an appreciation of the Irish ballad and to preserve its traditional musical flavour for the enjoyment of future generations. Keep on playing and singing. Signed, Garrett Fitzgerald, Taoiseach. There you are now. So, now, I don't want telegrams from the Taoiseach to go turning your heads or anything like that.
I was just going to say, that was quick.
We will ignore that comment. Ronnie, tell me about the group's first appearance. You talked about Top of the Pops. What about the first appearance in the Albert Hall in London? Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's Dead Boy hangs out very straight. We were going over to play in the Albert Hall, and Barney is not known for suffering from nerves too much. And we had the sound check, you see, and we arrived in the Albert Hall, and the sheer size of it frightened the daylight, tell you.
Right, yeah.
And so we were in there in the afternoon doing a sound check, and you just keep looking on, geez, man, Joseph, the size of it, you see. So Barney said, well, I can't go over, I have to have a shower or something, you know. Like, not necessarily a shower, but he had to do something. So at about 10 to 8, like...
10 to 8?
Yeah, a taxi man arrives, and he says, you blokes are very lucky, you know. He says, my father's all. He said, I wouldn't have known about you only for that. He said, I got a bloke here. He got a taxi from an hotel in the centre of the city. He said he wanted to go with the Dubliners. He was playing in a gig with the Dubliners. Well, I didn't know where to... And then I remembered about the Dubliners. And I asked him where they were playing. He said, it's a big roundy place near the park. Nearly wasn't being on in the Albert Hall.
What about...
The fact that it's a big roundy place, right?
It is a big round place. Says Barney very reasonably. It is a big round.
Apparently, when he eventually did go out, you see, he was sitting here and he was...
This is on stage?
Yeah, he was doing his, you know, his bit with the cheering up and out, and he started looking up. My jeez. That was all. And all the punters.
What about travelling around the country, Ronnie, in the early days?
Oh, there's some funny ones about that. We nearly went travelling around the country at all because we used to break up very regularly. John will tell you. John was in DSB, you see, and he had a very good job. Remember that, John? And,
Yes. I remember as well. Yeah, I was a draftsman, actually. I was an electrician first, and then I progressed on to being a draftsman.
Yeah.
And at the time, the lads were just doing Saturday night gigs out in the Royal Hotel in Howth, you see, but things were getting a little bit busier, and I'd run out of my annual leave. And I had to make this big decision to give up the good pensionable job, you see. So, was that the meeting you were talking about?
Yeah.
So we decided we'd have a big meeting to discuss the future of the group and the whole thing, you see. So we met in some pub in Bagot Street. Actually, the meeting took place over 3 or 4 different pubs that particular night, but it started in Toners, I think. And everything was going grand, and there was a fair few pints disappearing. And after a while, there was some bit of a row between Ronnie and Barney, anyway. I can't remember what it was about. But suddenly I realised what was actually happening was the group was breaking up right in front of me eyes. And me after packing up the good job that very day. So I said, mother of God, I was driving home, the group was finished and that was it, and you can all do what you like. So I was driving home, I said, good God, what am I going to do now? So I got a phone call from Ronnie the next day. He said, are you okay for Friday night, John? We're playing down at Thurles. And I said, I thought the group broke up last night, Ronnie. So I don't take any notice of that, happens every week.
There's one time we were very no work at all, you see. There weren't all these singing pubs. You look at Mick McCarthy and all, hadn't come back from England, built up pubs with bankments and all, you see. And so in any case, we looked up Elmore's Almanac and Barney, myself and Luke, the Lord of Mercy and Kieran, and we decided we'd go busking. And we went down the country busking, and we were very annoyed this night at dusk. We'd no money, no drink, nothing, you know, nowhere to sleep. And we're walking along, and next thing a corn crate goes in the field. Remember those birds? You don't hear them so much now. And you go, whack, what way do you go? Anyway, they go funny. And they've only got 2 now. Barney starts throwing stones. He said, God Almighty, he said, gave all the birds lovely voices. He said, and he gave that for the 2 notes, and one of them's flat.
and gentlemen, one of the teams, one of the groups which have come along to pay tribute to the Dubliners on their 25th. We are glad to welcome them to our studio. Would you say hello, please, to the Furies and Davy Arthur? Over.
I hope that I won't be the wrong anymore. Maybe I've learned this time. I hope that I find what I'm reaching for, the way that it is in my mind. Someday I'll get over you, and I'll live to see it all through. But I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you. I won't let it change me, no, not if I can. I'd rather believe in love. I've given away as much as I can to those that I found this dawn. Sing it with me. What the boys? Someday I'll get over you, and I'll live to see it all through. And I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you. I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you. I hope that it won't be the drama anymore. Believe me, I've learned this time. I hope that I find what I'm reaching for, the way that it is in my mind. But someday I'll get over you, and I'll live to see it all through. But I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you. Someday I'll get over you, and I'll live to see it all through. And I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you.
Join us in part 2. We take a commercial break. See you then. Thank you. Welcome back, folks. will you come in, for heaven's sake? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that we are inundated with telephone calls, no particular questions or queries, but a whole host of people all over the country phoning in to wish congratulations and happy 25th, and many more of them, to Ronnie and all the Dubs and everybody. Kader Asmal phoned to say congratulations to the Late Show and the Dubs on the show, because he says the Dubs were invited to play South Africa some years ago and they refused. So there you go. That's one up for you for Kader Asmal. Now, there's somebody on the telephone, Mr. Drew, talking to Johnny upstairs, and he works or she works with a telephone company, and they report that you rang up looking for a telephone number one night, and a fracas ensued.
Well, it could very well have happened, because I used to work in the telephone exchange, and fracas often ensued when I was on the telephone with me.
I could imagine that, Ronnie, yes.
One particular one where the lady rang up, and in the old days, you see, which are 3 and 6pence to phone England, you know.
Yes.
And there was a thing like you had to join the queue to get things, a delay.
Yes.
But delay meant like you couldn't get through for 2 hours. Only priority calls. But priority within the meaning of the post office is different than your priority. Like, you know? And only a government minister could get through. So this lady come on, said, I'd like to get on to London, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, madam, 2 hours today. Delighted with myself. You see, bad night. Ground off and all, you know. And she said, well, she said, I must get to London. Mrs. said, would you ever euphemistically say, go away, please? What? And she said, do you realise who I am? I said, no, madam. And I couldn't care less, you see. And she said, I am Mrs. being Mrs. Minister of somewhere or other, you see. And I said, do you know who I am? She said, no, I don't. I said, thanks for the Christ, I pulled it. Tell him I'm well used to fracas.
Part of your charm, Ronnie, part of your charm. How to win friends and influence people everywhere, that's it. And Scarper when the going gets tough. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in many ways a very sad night, because there is somebody who would have been so delighted to be here tonight. And, of course, he can't be with us. But we cannot possibly do the show on such a pleasant occasion without mentioning Luke Kelly, Lord rest him. As you know, he died... He died in January 1984, the 30th of January to be exact, and we do wish, he is very, very sorely missed, we do wish he was here. Now I want Jim McCann to introduce a piece of video that you're going to see, because it's very special. Jim, what is this one?
Well, it was quite extraordinary, because around that time I had a series. There was no question of me being in the Dubliners, or there was no... It had never been mooted that I would be joining the Dubliners. We had been friends for donkey's years. But I did a series called The McCann Man.
74-ish.
Ish. Yeah. I can't remember the exact chronology now. But the last programme in the series was Jim McCann and Friends, and 2 of the guests on that show were John Sheehan and Luke Kelly. And I think the other one was Paddy Riley, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And we did it out in Mick McCarthy's shop, out in Tala, the embankment. All just sitting around the fire, and we had a great day, didn't we? And the thing is, the song he sings on this is a song called Scorn Not His Simplicity, and he never sang it in public apart from this, except for his recording of it, which he reckoned that was the definitive recording, and he'd leave it at that. A lot of other people did it, fair enough, but Luke never actually did it apart from this performance. It was written by Phil Coulter for his own son, who was severely handicapped. And it's a wonderful song, of course, and we were inundated always with requests for Scorn Not His Simplicity.
And why wouldn't he do it again, Jim?
I think it was because he reckoned that he had done the version. He was very moved by the song himself, obviously, and having been given it by the man who wrote it and being so personally involved, I think he decided that that's all I'm going to do.
The definitive version. I can't do better than that.
I mean, I have, no, to be honest, I've mentioned no names, but I have heard people doing that song since, and speaking things in the middle, like, see the child, and all this, and knowing Luke, like, you'd feel like explaining something.
Yes, he wouldn't have done that.
He wouldn't have. But he never would do it at all.
No. All right, then. Roll it there, Roisin, then. Luke Kelly and Scorn Not His Simplicity from The McCann Man in 1974.
Desi, John, would you give me a C chord, please? See the child with the golden hair, but eyes that show the emptiness inside. Do we know? Can we understand just how he feels, or have we really tried? See him now as he stands alone and watches children play a children's game. Simple child, he looks almost like the others, yet they know he's not the same. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. See him stare, not recognizing that kind face that only yesterday he loved. The loving face of a mother who can't understand what she's been guilty of. How she cried tears of happiness the day the doctor told her it's a boy. Now she cries tears of helplessness and thinks of all the things he can't enjoy. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. Only he knows how to face the future, hopefully surrounded by despair. He won't ask for your pity or your sympathy, but surely you must care. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Poor old Luke, Lord rest him, and we remember him particularly tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome onto our panel Mr. Christy Moore, joining us over here. Hey! Christy Moore! Yeah! Christy, where did you first meet Luke?
Well, I first met Luke in Manchester. The first time I actually spoke to him was in Manchester. I was actually busking a Dubliners queue.
You were.
Outside the Free Trade Hall in Manchester.
I know it well, the Free Trade. And you were busking at Dubliners queue?
Yeah, and I ended up getting into the show, and I ended up staying in the hotel that night as well, which is, so it was the first time I ever stayed in a hotel either.
And what did he mean to you? Tell me what he represented to you.
Well, I think he was, he'd always give young singers, and all singers and musicians, a leg up and a bit of encouragement. And anywhere you were, he'd always introduce you to people and say, you have to hear this fella singing, or if there's anybody there, he'd bring it in, and, you know, he'd try and give you a bit of a break.
Generous heart.
Yeah.
Generous, good heart, yeah. Where did you meet the Dubliners first, apart from Luke?
Well, the first one, I think, the first Dubliner I ever met was Kieran. I met him in a hay shed down in Prosperous. A long time ago.
Give it milk.
A hay shed in Prosperous.
He was building a house down in Kildare, and I was in the vicinity, and I woke up one morning in the same hay shed as Kieran.
Were you close to him, or was it the other side of the hay shed, or?
Well, I think we were able to smell each other.
And that was the start of a wonderful friendship. Well,
yeah.
To start there, why not? What is the story that Ronnie Drew saved your life? Is that true?
Well, he saved my life a few times.
No, but I mean, did he literally save your life?
Well, there's one night in Birmingham, I was being a bit obstreperous, and there was two fellas having a go at me.
Yeah.
And Ronnie came out and said, lads, that's enough now.
Tut, said Ronnie. Dear me, said Ronnie, you mustn't fight like... What?
Quieting down so much.
What?
What? You should be glad we're all quieting down. We could have come straight up and couch and everything.
Absolutely. All right, now, Christy, you have a little tribute to Luke, have you, for us?
Well, a lot of people send me songs, fortunately, and I was sent many songs, many tributes to Luke. And this is one which I think it's a very fine song, written by a man who's in the audience tonight, Mick O'Keefe. And it's just simply called Tribute to Luke.
Tribute.
The years have passed, the time has flown, since first I saw you there. With feet apart, to the music moved, your bright red curling hair. The spotlight shone in colours bright, reflecting on your face. The music notes so sweet and clear, the spirit of your race. Your songs told tales of peace and joy, of sorrow and of love. The power and passion of your voice soared heavenly above. And from the inner soul there came emotion in each song. You stirred the hearts of many, Luke, when you sang of right and wrong. The humour of those laughing eyes was shared in full with all, when you chose a song to lift the hearts that filled the music hall. The ecstasy and joy was felt in chorus, clap and cheer, when the son of Roisin took the stage, the king of balladeers. I saw you sing 1,000 times, 10,000 songs or more. I still can clearly hear your voice, though your time with us is o'er. Fond memories are all we have when we think of you today. Your name we'll always honor, Luke. Weird land you passed this way.
Good boy. Good boy. Nice one. Thank you. What's that?
The man with the glasses there is the man that rolled.
That man there with the glasses
Yeah.
and the beard. God, they all have beards tonight, there's no doubt about it. You're the only team in the third row. Well done. So what's his name again, Christy?
Michael O'Keefe.
Michael O'Keefe. Well done, Michael. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Good. Now, since we're talking to the audience, I see Sean McRaymond down there in the front row. Hello, Sean. Lovely to see you again, and welcome to our... You're enjoying every minute of this. I can see you just chortling happy there. Will you tell us, pay a tribute, pay your own tribute to the Dubs. Say what they mean to you.
I knew them before they were the Dubliners, I think. We used to take refreshment in a certain establishment in Marion Row, and there was a great deal of refreshment, both solid and liquid, as poor Maureen O'Donoghue and Paddy were most generous hosts. I often wondered how they managed to make a profit at all. And Seamus Ennis, God rest him, who was my colleague, was often there, and that's when I first met the original notorious members of the group. Maureen used to refer to them then as the Heads. They weren't known as the Dubliners. Have the Heads come in yet? But actually, I had met Barney on another occasion before that, and that was at a flagship, I think, in Clonus. And Barney, Barney was playing.
And Seamus.
That's right. And Barney was playing the banjo, of all things, and I thought he was rather good, mind you. You know, he was always a very perspicacious critic, and I thought this guy wasn't bad, you know. And eventually we persuaded him to record, and I mean persuaded, because he was very, very bashful indeed, but he was great. And then, and I can also claim something else. I think I was the first to put poor Luke on Radio Ayrton. I was doing a program called Around the Town, and somebody brought in this guy. He had just come back from England. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Bill Meek brought him in, somebody like that. And I remember Luke recorded McAlpine's Fusiliers for me. And that was, I think that was the first time Luke was on the radio here. So
it's a long association.
It's a long association, and they're all getting younger, I think. I don't know. I've always believed, of course, that Drew's beard was false, and I mean to put it to the test someday. But of course, Barney looks exactly as he did when he was a child in Clonus.
Well done, Sean. Thank you very much, Sean. Well done. That's good. Right off the top of his head there. Sure, I knew he wouldn't be stuck for a word. I knew he wouldn't be stuck for a word. That's how you can. Come back to us, please, in a few moments for the next part. Thank you. Good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, especially over from London to join with us and pay tribute to the Dubliners. Here's a number from the Dubs with the Pogues. Hey!
On the 4th of July, 1806, we set sail from the street cove of Cork. We were sailing away with the cargo of bricks for the Grand City Hall in New York. 'Twas a wonderful craft, she was rigged fore and aft, and know how the wild wind over. She stood several blasts, she had 27 masts, and they called her the Irish Rover.
Million pints of that Westlake rights, we had 2 million barrels of corn. We had 3 million bales of our nanny goat's tails. We had 4 million barrels of stone. We had 5 million dogs, 6 million huts, 7 million barrels of ports. We had 8 million hides of our blind horses' hides, and a whole of the Irish rover.
There was our Mickey Cute, who played hard on his flute when the ladies line up for a set. He would tootle with skill for each sparkling quadrille, till the dancers were fluted and bent. With his smart, witty talk, he was cock on the walk, and he rolled the Dame under and over. They all knew at a glance when he took up his stance, and he sailed in the Irish rover.
From the banks of the Lee, there was Hogan from County Tyrone. There was Johnny McGurk, who was scared stuff of work on a man from Westmeath come along. There was Slugger O'Toole, who was drunk as a road, and fighting that shicey from Dover. I am Mike McCann from the banks of the Bank, the skipper and the Irish rover.
For a sailor, it's always a bother in life. It's so lonesome by night and by day. Then he longs for the shore and a pretty young whore who will melt all his troubles away. All the noise and the rout, filling punching and stout, for him soon is done and over. Of the love of a maid, he is never afraid, and a son from the Irish rover. We have sailed 7 years when the mazes broke out, and his ship lost its way in the fog. And a whale of a crew was reduced down to 2, with himself and our captain's of none. Then a ship struck a rock, oh Lord, what a shock. So it turned right over, turning 9 times around. Then the poor old dog was drowned. To the Irish rover.
That's the way to whip it up. That's the way to do it. All right, then. The Pogues there, and the Dubs, and everybody joining in. I didn't have a word with Finbar yet. Finbar, would you like to tell us what the Dubs mean to you, and where you first met them, and did you travel with them, and all that sort of crack?
Well, our greatest memory with the boys was we were in Amsterdam. There was ourselves and Stockton Swing, and the Chieftains, and the Dubliners. We were all Paddy Riley, Jim McCann. I remember we missed a flight. Do you remember that?
To Berlin.
And it was all Stockton Swing's fault.
Then I hear you.
Because we were trying to drag them out of the bar and they couldn't get out, you see, because the door was too small anyway. To make a long story short, we missed the plane, we missed the second plane, and we missed the third plane. And there was one of these German 3-engine jobs for on. I don't like flying, and neither does Ronnie, you know, so Ronnie as well, Charlie, says, "Hey, I'm going to sit beside you. Is that all right?" It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad.
So I said, right. He said, "If we crash," he says, "at least I'll get cushioned." So he gets in on the inside. He wants to look out through the window, and he's afraid of flying. You know?
And poor old Luke Lord turned around, you know, he was up there about 5 seats ahead of us. And you can imagine, I mean, this plane went down, it was the end of the folk scene in Ireland, you know. We're all trembling, you know. And as we're taxiing out to the runway, Ronnie said, I don't think we're not going to make it. And nearly let it out there. But anyway, you know, we're taxied out and Luke Lord it was very sort of straightforward. He turned around to us and he says, Jeez, he says, look at you, like a bunch of fairies, he says, in the back seat there, the whole lot, he says, when your time is up, he says, your time is up, and that is it. Let's all go to Berlin and fly the flag. So Ronnie turns to me, he says, you know, Luke is right. He says, he's dead right. When your time is up, your time is up. They're all sitting there getting, praying and everything, you know, the rosary beads are hidden under the seat, you know. And Barney turns around about 10 minutes later, he says, yeah, he said, but what if the captain's time is up? We're all bunch. But going back, I remember the first time I met Ronnie was, it must have been about 1960 or 61. And my father used to play down in Paddy O'Donoghue's. And it was the days when they took the candles off the middle of the table and they put the points up, you know. It was one of these days that, it was a long, long time ago. I always remember going into Donoghue's in short trousers and meeting Ronnie for the first time, you see. And I'm sitting there with the pipes, you know, and they're scratching on my leg. And all I want to do is go out with the friends and have a bit of crack, you know. And this is Ronnie Drew, great singer. And we formed a little trio. Do you remember that? Years and years ago. And of course, Kieran Burke, sitting over there. Kieran used to pick us up and drive us down because we had no car or anything. We came all the way from Ballyfermot. Yeah, and we used to get paid 30 bob a night, you know, between 4 of us. Which was a lot of drink in them days. And I never seen any of it, you know, being 12, you know. 2 bob if I was lucky. And I remember my father saying to Ronnie, the Lord of mercy, my father too, he turned around to Ronnie and he says, where have you come back from? He says, from Spain. I came back from Spain. What were you doing over in Spain? He said, I was teaching English.
And he was.
It was brilliant. And they were great days, you know, they were magic days, weren't they? They were brilliant days.
Okay then, music. What have we got? We have the Dubliners with us, we have the Furies with us, we have Davy Arthur with us, we have Jim McCann, we have Christy Moore. What are you going to do?
We're going to start with a little piece.
Your favourite?
We're going to start with a piece called the Merino Waltz, which I wrote myself.
Right.
And I'll have to play this one especially for my mammy, the lady in red over there.
Lady in red over there, yes. Lady in red.
And just very briefly, the story behind this is that my mother was away on holidays a couple of years ago, and I went in to the house and I did a bit of papering and painting as a surprise for her when she came back, you see. And right enough, when she came back, she was very surprised at how little I had done. But while I was there one night, I got out the fiddle, put aside the paintbrush, and I wrote this little tune. I felt kind of nostalgic being back in the house on my own for a few days, and I wrote this tune. I called it the Merino Waltz. So we're going to do that one first, and then the Furies and Davy. We're going to play a few jigs, I think, after that, right?
Okay.
So we'll start with the Merino.
Off you go. Okay. Thank you. goodness me, boy. How are you? A surprise entrance, sir. How are you? And God save you. How are you? You're welcome. You're welcome. Surprise guest indeed. You're very welcome. You got on the Late Show at last. You've made your entrance. Why, pray, are you here, sir? Explain yourself.
I am here to present these records to the Dubliners, and I'm here to join you in paying my respects to the Dubliners.
What, sir, would you wish to say to us about them?
Well, I'm delighted to be on the Late Late Show at last because you kept me off it all these years. And I want to thank the Dubliners for having got me on it.
Yes. Yes. And what do you want to say about them? What do they mean to you?
Oh, the Dubliners mean practically everything to me. First of all, they come from my place, Tullycarney, Marino. They remind me of my youth. I love their music. It's the sort of music I was brought up with. I love the ballad, and I think they've really made something very special of the ballad, particularly the Irish ballad. So there's a great lift to their music. I love it. I enjoy it. It's really my music.
And there's other old pals of yours at the Furies as well. They're joining in. So they're all here.
Well, you see, the Dubliners come really from the north side, whereas the Furies... whereas they're kind of way out in the west somewhere.
This is not a night for rows, lads. Later. Now, these are the special 25th celebration records, yes, and signed. They're special restricted issue, is that so? And numbered. All right. Well, there you are. You're here. Distribute them now. I tell you what, I'll take care of them because they're going to play. Well, now, you're very welcome, and thank you very much indeed. Are you staying or are you going?
I'm going to stay.
Oh, you stay. Very good. Well done. You're very welcome. We'll stay then. And we'll join us later for a knees up there. All right. God bless you. Mr. Charles J. Haughey, ladies and gentlemen. Presumably... If you join Dennis just for the moment, and we'll find a seat for you because you weren't expecting
I'm always looking for a seat.
Well done. Hey. Ah, great. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have another group who have come along to join us on the Late Show tonight to pay their special tribute to the Dubliners. And Ronnie, get ye over there now and join with this gang and see what you're going to play, because I haven't the faintest idea what they're going to do. But ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome please Stockton's Wing over here? Yeah.
For nearly 60 years I've been a cocky of droughts and fires and floods. I lived through plenty. This country's dust and mud have seen my tears and blood, but it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy. I married a fine girl when I was 20. She died in giving birth and she was 30. No flying doctor then, just a gentle old black gem. But it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy. Me with 2 sons and a daughter, and a bone-dry farm whose soil cried out for water. Though my care was rough and ready, they grew up fine. this land I've made me home, I carried on alone. But it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy. City folks these days despise the cocky, saying with subsidies and dole we've had it easy. But there's no drought or starving stock on the Seward suburban block. But it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy. Nearly 60 years I've been a cocky, of droughts and fires and floods I've lived through plenty. This country's dust and mud have seen my tears and blood. But it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy. But it's nearly over now, and now I'm easy.
We'll take some more to break here. Come back to us, please. Thank you. Okay, yeah, right, hey, hey, ho, hey, hey. Okay. Well, I hope you're enjoying the show at home, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a grand buzz here in the studio, and it's disorganized, but there are so many musicians, so many performers want to take part. We're having a great time. Now, the switchboard is absolutely jammed. We know that. You simply can't get through because there are so many people, just ordinary individuals around the country wanting to send their greetings to you, Ronnie, and wanting to be part of your celebration. So we wanted to mention one thing in particular, and that is the Wolf Tones phoned from Hartford, Connecticut, where they are performing there today, tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever it is, and they send you their best wishes. The Wolf Tones, all the way from there. And also, another old friend of ours phoned to wish you best wishes and fond memories of your first date in the north of Ireland from Jim Aiken. There you are. Now, there's lots of other people. There's an old man he rang particularly. He's 99 years of age. His name is Gus Dorrington. Yeah. And something connected with the railway, is that right? Something connected with the railway? Yeah. Well, he sends his kind regards too. But as I say, the switchboard is simply jammed all over, so there you are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another of the groups, and we're delighted to welcome them to our studio, who've come along specially to pay tribute to the Dubs. Would you welcome, please, U2?
Hello. Very, very, very proud to be a part of this, and I've met Ronnie Drew along the way, along the road over the years. Really loved the man. Never met Luke Kelly. Saw him crossing O'Connell Street once. Fiery red hair. Would have loved to have met him. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a song that you lot have inspired me with. It's your version of Spring Hill mining disaster. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, down in the dark of the Cumberland mine, there's blood on the coal and the miners lie in roads that never seen sun or sky, roads that never saw sun nor sky. In the town of Spring Hill you don't sleep easy. Often the earth will tremble and roll. When the earth is restless, miners die. With bone and blood is the price of coal. Bone and blood is the price of coal. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, late in the year of 88. Well, the day still comes and the sun still shines, but it's dark as a grave in the Cumberland mine. It's dark as a grave in the Cumberland mine. Listen to the shouts of the black-faced miners. Listen to the call of a rescue team. We have no water or no bread, so we're living on songs and hope instead. We're living on songs and hope instead. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, down in the dark of a Cumberland mine, there's blood on the coal and the miners lie in roads that never saw sun nor sky. Roads that never saw sun nor sky. Town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, often the earth will tremble and roll. When the earth is restless, miners die. Blood, the price of coal. Bone and blood is the price of coal. Bone and blood is the price of coal. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome. As they say, you're very welcome to this house. Well done. That was a nice performance. Talk to me about Luke. Did he have a great influence on you?
Yeah, I would say, you know, if we've got something of the soul of Ronnie, Drew, and the rest of the guys, I like to think we've something of the spirit of Luke Kelly. Just as a singer, he inspired me to sing. I mean, I grew up in my house, you know, Christmas time and other times on the weekend. In fact, any time drink was brought out, you'd sing some of his songs. And I'm still singing them because I think they're worth singing. And as I say, I saw him cross O'Connell Street once.
You just saw him across?
Yeah, and I said, who's that guy with the wiry red hair? Because everyone was looking at him, I said, that's Luke Kelly. And I ought to have known.
You ought to have known. And you never got to shake his hand?
No, and it's to my lasting regret. And I think, really, that's why we're here tonight.
Good. Well, that's a nice tribute. Now, when are you off on your next tour? Very soon, surely?
That's right. The 23rd of this month, we head off for what will probably be about 12 months away.
Where are you going?
Well, it's where we aren't going. That's really the question. We're starting in the States. We're doing a couple of months there. Then we're coming back to Europe, and we're doing pretty much everywhere on the continent, Britain and Ireland. And then we'll probably take in Australia and New Zealand at the end of the year.
Just while you're passing by. Yeah, just take it. Well, now you're most welcome here, and thank you very much indeed for coming along and paying a tribute.
Thank you.
I know that your tour would be attended with just as much success and adulation as your previous tour. So good luck to you now.
Thank you very much.
And may the Lord send his face on you.
Thanks a lot.
Well done. Thank you very much for coming. Bono, The Edge, all the gang there, you two. We got Sati from the dark. We got a special one with Sean Cannon, do we not? A feature with Sean Cannon and the Dubliners right now. Yeah. Oh.
Right, here's a modern song, and it's called Don't Get Married Girls, which is a women's liberation song, if you like. So we're doing this one in the hope that the women will buy the record. When they get the money from the husband. Oh, don't get married, girls, you'll sign away your life. You may start off as a woman, but you'll end up as the wife. You could be a Vestal Virgin, take the veil and be a nun. But don't get married, girls, for marriage isn't fun. Oh, it's fine when you're romancing and he plays the lover's part. You're the roses in his garden, you're the flame that warms his heart. And his love will last forever, and he'll promise you the moon. But just wait until you're wedded, then he'll sing a different tune. You're his tapioca pudding, you're the dumplings in his stew. But he'll soon begin to wonder what he ever saw in you. Still he takes without complaining all the dishes you provide. For you see he's got to have his bit of jam tart on the side. So don't get married, girls, it's very badly paid. You may start off as the mistress, but you'll end up as the maid. Be a daring deep-sea diver, be a polished polyglot, but don't get married, girls, for marriage is the plot. Have you seen him in the morning with a face that looks like death, with dandruff on his pillow and tobacco on his breath? And he needs some reassurance with his cup of tea in bed, for he's worried by the mortgage and the ball patch on his head. And he's sure that you're his mother, lays his head up on your breast. So you try to boost his ego, iron his shirt and warm his vest. You get him off to work, the mighty hunter is restored, and he leaves you there with nothing but the dreams you can't afford. So don't get married, girls, men are all the same. They just use you when they need you, you do better on the game. Be a call girl, be a stripper, be a hostess, be a whore, but don't get married, girls, for marriage is a bore. When he comes home in the evening, he can hardly spare a look. All he says is, what's for dinner? After all, you're just a cook. But when he takes you to a party, he eyes you with a frown. For you know you've got to look your best, you mustn't let him down. Then he'll clutch you with that look, while I've got twinkle in his eyes, like he's entered for a raffle and he's won you for the prize. But when the party's over, you'll be slogging through the sludge, half the time a decoration and the other half a drudge. So don't get married, it'll drive you round the bend. It's the lane without a turning, it's the end without an end. Take a lover every Friday, take up tennis, be a nurse, but don't get married, girls, for marriage is a curse. Then you get him off to work, the mighty hunter is restored, and he leaves you there with nothing but the dreams you can't afford.
Really? That's a great song. Smashing song. Thoroughly enjoy that. Well done. That was Sean Cannon with the Dubs there. And don't get married. Let that be a lesson to ye all. Now, I want... What did he say? I missed it.
I think there should be another song to redress the balance.
Oh, I suppose there will. And no...
Don't get married, boys.
Yes.
Bash your egg your father.
We, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking the extra tonight because we can't get out. We have so many requests for songs. We are definitely taking the extra. But before we go into this commercial break, McAlpines is down here. McAlpines is next on the list. Yeah, McAlpines is down here. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
It was in the year of 39, when the sky was full of lead, when Hitler was heading for Poland and Paddy for Holyhead. Come all you pincher laddies and you long distance men, don't ever work for McAlpine, for Wimpy or John Lang. They'll stand behind a mixer till your skin is turned to tan, and they'd say good on you, Paddy, with your boat fair in your hand. Oh, the crack was good in Cricklewood, and they wouldn't leave the crown. But glasses flying and biddies crying, sure Paddy was going to town. Oh, mother dear, I'm over here, and I'm never coming back. What keeps me here? The rake of beer, the ladies, and the crack. I come from County Kerry, the land of eggs and bacon. If you think I'd ate your fish and chips, I tell you your mistake. Oh, I down the land came McAlpine, the shovel slung behind them. Was in the pub, they drank the sob, and up in the spike you'll find them. They sweated blood, and they washed down mud with pints and quarts of beer. And now we're on the road again with McAlpine's music. I've stripped to the skin with the turkey pig, way down upon the Isle of Grain. With the horse-faced tool, and I knew the rule, no money if you stop for rain. When McAlpine's gone with a well-filled hod, your shoulders cut to bits and seared, and woe to he who went to look for tea. McAlpine's music. I remember the day when the Bear O'Shea fell into a comrade's snares. But the horse-face said when he saw him dead, but it wasn't what the rich call prayers. I'm a navvy short with a one retort that reached unto my ears. When the going is rough, well you must be tough with McAlpine's music. I've worked till the sweat it has had me bet with Russian, Czech and Pole. Unshuttling jammed up in the hydro dams or underneath the Thames in a hole. I've grafted hard and I've got me cards and many a ganger's fist across me ears. If you're proud of your life, don't join by Christ with McAlpine's music.
This break. We'll have more from the Dubs and more from everybody else who's taking part as well. All right, we have a big one. Okay, fine. Hey, wonderful. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Our switchboard is still absolutely jammed with callers. Thank you very much indeed for all your good wishes on behalf of Ronnie and the gang, pouring in from all over the place, as well as it was the Irish club in Belgium, Mary, you said, and they're looking forward to your trip there in October, is it not? You're going there. That's right, yeah. Looking forward to seeing you there. But right now, Christy, you want to introduce your own features. I don't know what that was all about. Christy, you want to introduce your own featured spot now, do you? Yes.
Well,
what's this?
I've very kindly been allowed to borrow 2 songs off Sean Cannon. It's been an ambition of mine for years and years and years to sing a song with the Dubliners. I've played support them all over the world, from Boolia to Ballymagash, and back again. But I'm going to sing with them tonight, so we'll give the Black Velvet Band a lash. All right?
In the neat little town they call Belfast, apprentice to trade I was bound. And many's the hours of happiness I spent in that sweet little town, till a sad misfortune came over me that caused me to flee from the land, far away from me friends and relations, and the girl with the black velvet band. Right. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band.
Well, I took a stroll with this pretty fair maid, and the gentleman passing us by. Well, I knew she meant the undoing of me by the look in her roguish black eye. Well, a gold watch she took from his pocket, and she placed it right into me hand. And the very first thing that I thought was bad look to the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band.
Before the judge and the jury, the next day I was forced to attend. And the judge, he said to me, young man, your case I must now apprehend. I'll give you 10 years penal servitude to be spent far away from the land, far away from your friends and relations, and the girl with the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band.
So come all you jolly young fellows, and a warning takes by me. Well, when you are out on the town, me lads, beware of them pretty colleens, for they'll feed you with strong ale, oh yeah, until you are unable to stand. And the very first thing that you know, me lads, is you've landed in Van Diemen's Land.
Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet
Good boy. John, I have an important question for you, sir, from many of your fans on the telephone. They want to know, are you yet officially a member of the Dubliners? This is not an empty question. This is not it's a very serious question.
It's a very serious question, and there's a very serious answer.
Quite, yes.
I'm not yet officially a member of the group because I haven't been asked yet to join.
Do you mean you've never been asked, John, to join?
The lads used to play out in Howth every Saturday at the Royal Hotel, and I came along and filled in at the interval a couple of times.
Yes.
Bob Lynch, the Lord of mercy on him.
Yes.
And we were enjoying the crack, and we used to stay on for the second half of the show. And people start saying, God, this new fiddle player sounds good in the group.
Yes.
And so Ronnie used to say, are you okay next week, like, for such a day? And I say, yeah, grand. And it's been going on like that for the last 5 years.
And was there never an exchange of formal letters, John? It's normal on these occasions. Well, is there a formal letter appointing him as a member of the group, Ronnie?
Letter?
No.
We don't even open formal letters.
So as that I won't be accused of neglecting my duties, Ronnie, could we formalise this arrangement here tonight on your 25th anniversary?
It'd be a bit dangerous. Somebody might be responsible for something, like, you know. So somebody might end up being responsible, like we didn't all turn up, you think.
But I mean, John could get the impression that he's not wanted in the group. You know?
I know. You're all right for tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm okay for tomorrow, yeah.
I didn't think I'd get very far with that. Jim, you're standing by, are you? Ladies and gentlemen, Jim McCann, his own extra little tribute, a little solo spot. This is called, and a very special request for him to do it, Meet Me at the Pillar. Jim McCann.
I wandered up the old stone steps. Then children started crying when they heard the battle sound. And I don't know what came over me. For a moment I could hear the pleading of a soldier's voice kept calling in my ear. Meet me at the pillar, son. It still is not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon instead of late. Meet me at the pillar, son. There's so much left to do. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. I looked around to see the smile, but nobody was there. In the distance I could hear the drums, yet a stillness filled the air. I looked around and in the stream a soldier I could see. He said his name was Porrick Pierce, and he kept on calling me. If you don't sing it, meet me at the village, son. Please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's so much left to do. Meet me at the pillar, son. It still is not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. Thank you very much. Very good.
Good boy, Jim. Come on over. Come on. God love you. Come on over and sit down.
Once again, the joys of live television.
Believe it or believe it not, that's the second time Jim McCann has been on television recently. Not on The Late Show, I hasten to add, but on television recently, and a microphone sat down. But you're well able to cope. Never mind, Willie, don't worry. Never mind, Willie, don't worry. We've had 2 hours and 10 minutes of live television, and there's a lot of microphones and cables and a lot of people singing and performing tonight. You've done a great job.
No problem, Willie.
And also, can I remind you that this whole show tonight was put together by our young Johnny McHugh of the Late Late Show staff from Mullingar, and I want to send my congratulations. A great one. you seem to have a thing about professional appearance for the group. Yes, professional appearance. I mean, the appearance of the group, dress, shirts and...
Well, mostly, only when going to Late Late Show, wear the top half the suit.
Yes.
But other times just wear this part and a short sleeve shirt.
Yes.
And one time, we had a bit of problem with one member of the group who was a little bit untidy. Don't say it.
I know who you're going to say again. When in doubt, playing Barney. This is the group. No matter what happens, I get the blame.
We went to a gig one night.
I'm going to have to go and tune out the instruments. Come on,
We went to this gig one night, you see, and we said, Barney got dressed, you see, and we said, now Barney, that's the kind of a shirt you should have on every night. That suit is really nice, or that shirt is really nice and clean and looks nice and crisp and all, you know. And everybody was complimenting Barney to hope that he'd pack it up nicely instead of, you know, packing it up and then putting it in the ball. You know, would fold it up nicely and have it for the next night at the gig. And after the gig, I went looking for my shirt that I was wearing during the day. That was the shirt Barney'd worn for the gig.
Tell him when you were looking for the shirt, Barney, in the dressing room.
Just wondering how you got into it.
No, Barney was bigger that time. Yeah, he was.
Tell you what, we have to wind up, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Haughey, sir, could I prevail upon you to perhaps join us in a chorus of a song? Don't worry, you won't be heard very well, neither will I, because can we invite everybody on stage, please? Everybody who's taken part so far, come along, around the back, press in. This is going to be a scramble for cover. Stocktons. And Christy, are you there? Christy is there. Jim is there. The Pogues coming on stage. All right? You two, are they still with us? All right. But there you are. Well done, Bono. Well done, Edge. Okay. Are we all here? All right. Everybody. Well, Terry Wogan hasn't turned up tonight, but there you are. If he was here, he would sing. Don't worry. He would sing, yes. Okay. Now, can we have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to do a very... Pardon?
Where can we buy the album?
You can buy the album in a record shop. Where do you think? Take 17 gets it. It is released at the moment. It's going on release this weekend, isn't it, Charles? Yes, released today. Released today. Now, can I just say, could I have your attention, folks, please, just for a minute? By way of introduction to this final number, we want Kieran Burke to recite a little verse. It's called The Lament for Brendan Behan. Now, Kieran, in your own time.
Sad, solemn notes and crates of newly drawn stout, the usual symptoms when a life goes out. But the extinction this time being 7 times the most, the music held no echo, and the tears drowned our toast. Sorrow and bereavement, life has no meaning now. Silence is master, laughter and song bowed. For gone went our great captain to some more hospitable inn, where hypocrisy can no longer embarrass him.
A hungry feeling came o'er me stealing, and the mice were squealing in me prison cell, and the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. To begin the morning, the screw was bawling, get up, ye bowsy, and clean up your cell. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. Now the screw was peeping as the lag lay sleeping, dreaming about his girdle sow, and an old triangle went jingle jangle all along up in the female prison.
Wahoo! Yep.
There are 75 women, and among them, now I wish I did 12. And not